Hello, everybody. It's Jourin once again. Back with another video. It's been a little bit of time since I did the last video. I was just finishing up some things. Finally finished up um, my third versus film, Volume 3. Finally got that finished. And it's going to be on my other YouTube channel. It'll be on other platforms at some point later on down the road. But I finally got that done. Finally finished it. It was long and grueling like it always is, but I finally got to the finish line, and I want to talk a little bit today about how to stay focused on something, because I think that we just have too many distractions going on today. Because one of the things I've learned about as a creative person and as a filmmaker and stuff like that, one of the things I figured out is that if you're really serious about getting something done, you'll find a way to do it. I think that people allow themselves to get distracted between social media and all these other things. Let's be real. I mean, people are just distracted with too much stuff. And I try not to let it distract me. I just don't really tune in to a lot of things. I mean, because it's just a lot of this stuff out here is just distracting, and all it's doing is taking away from what you're supposed to be doing. Which is why I don't really fool with politics, and I don't fool with a lot of stuff, because I feel like a lot of stuff is a waste of time and energy. Really doesn't mean anything. I mean, stuff changes all the time, and people's views change all the time. You feel one way tomorrow, feel one way next day. So I don't have time for all that stuff, and it's just distracting. And I heard someone say one time that some of the greatest people that ever lived, some of the most creative people that ever lived, came before television and came before TV. And when you really think about it, that's true, because people back then had nothing else to do. People couldn't they couldn't watch the news. They couldn't distract themselves with all these things. People back then, they didn't have a TV. So what else did they have to do besides work on themselves? And that's why some of the most smartest people that ever lived came before television. Some of the greatest people that we quote all the time lived before TV. I mean, think about it. People didn't have a whole lot of distractions back then. Nobody was sitting around worrying about this, worrying about that, because it wasn't there. There was stuff going on back then too, but it wasn't in your face every day. But it was there, but it just wasn't in your face like that. And nobody was distracted. There was no TV, there was no internet, there was no Instagram, and there was no Facebook, and there was no people posting and tweeting all this kind of stuff we got going on. Nobody was doing all that back then. So what else did people have to do besides focus on themselves? And I think we need to go back to old school, because I think that we just allow too many things to take us away from what we're supposed to be doing, and a lot of stuff is a waste of time. I mean, y'all gotta realize this. I mean, life is already short enough as it is. Who got time to really be fooling around with nonsense? Who got time for that? Who has time for the negativity? Who has time for that? I mean, we don't really have that much time on this earth. Do we really have that kind of time to waste? I mean, think about it. I'm just trying to motivate somebody, because you're listening to somebody who has already done like what 4 feature films already by myself, and some short films. I'm working on something else right now, and I know what it takes to, and I've won a couple of awards for some of them, but I know what it takes to get things done, because like you really have to sit down and focus on stuff. You have to block everything out, cut everything off, and just focus, because it just amazes me how a lot of people we just think we have to just be engulfed into everything, because that's how society is set up these days. Everybody has to keep up with the latest thing. Everybody has to keep up with the latest story. Everybody has to keep up with all this stuff. Like, why? And nobody was doing that back then. Nobody was doing this 200 years ago. Nobody was fooling around and worrying about all these things. They had nothing else to do besides work on themselves, focus on their family, and focus on their own stuff. And that's the way it should be anyway. I think that we have too many distractions going on. And I think that a lot of people just waste time. I don't even get worked up. People get so worked up about politics and people get so worked up about it. I don't even care. Real talk. I don't. Because honestly, I don't have time to be worrying about all that stuff. I don't care. I can really care less, to be honest with you. And we just get so worked up with these things that don't matter. Because honestly, I just don't have time for it, bro. There's too many things to do. There's too many things to do and not enough time to do it. There's too many things to learn. There's too many things to tap into. Who got time for all that? I mean, you ain't got but 24 hours in a day. Who really has time to be worrying about all this stuff? It's just a waste of time. Like it's not. It's counterproductive. Some of y'all could have had a whole. Some of y'all could have had a whole lot of stuff done by now, but you waste so much time on stuff that don't matter. I'm just being real. I mean, a lot of y'all, some of y'all out there waste a lot of time, and it's just like, where does it really get you? I mean, people sitting around complaining all day long about all kinds of stuff, and I'm not gonna get specific, but we got people out here who just complain about everything. What does that do for you? I mean, we know that everybody knows that stuff is not always easy, but why do we need to sit around and complain about it all day? What does that do? It doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't serve you. It just wastes a whole. But you're wasting a whole bunch of time. Real talk, and you're not getting anything else done. Sitting around complaining about stuff doesn't change anything. And it's just, what does it do? It is what it is. Some seasons are good. Some seasons are uncomfortable. It happens. It's gonna happen over and over again. Some seasons are more comfortable than others. And I think people read too much into things. Every time something happens, and some of y'all got family members like that. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. There's always those people out there who, all these end of the world believers out here. Please stop listening to them. Stuff is nonsense. We've always had people like that ever since you go back. You go back 300 years ago. People were saying the same stuff. It's just old. It's old and tired, and I don't have time for that stuff. Every time something happens, everybody starts talking about all this mess. I ain't got time for that, folks. It's just nonsense. It's like the weather. It goes up and down. It changes. Some seasons are good. Some seasons are uncomfortable. It happens. That's just the way the world works. That's the way it's been working for the past millions of years, and nothing changed. And I think that people sometimes read too much into things. Everybody's running about, everybody's running around worrying about what AI. First of all, let's get something straight now about this whole thing about AI. AI has already been here, and I'm not even gonna get too deep into this, but real talk, like this whole thing about AI we've already been using AI. We've been using AI for like the past 20, 30 years already. I mean, look at the video games. I mean, y'all play video games. I mean, what do you think video games are made out of? AI? How do you think how do you think the enemy knows where you are? I mean, we already use AI. We use it in video games. We use it in a whole bunch of stuff. We've been using that. That's not new. Everybody acting like AI is some new creature that came out of the water. Like we've already been using it. Like it's so crazy. Like everybody's always starting stuff, and like I don't care about it. To be honest with you, I think AI is going to help a lot of people. I think AI is going to be very useful. It's already been useful. I've been using it. Matter of fact, I've been using AI for my film work. A lot of those voices that you'll probably hear if you watch a lot of them that you'll hear are mostly, they're all AI. And I haven't. It saves you a lot of money for one thing because you ain't got to pay nobody to do something. Like look, and I tell people all the time that y'all gotta stop listening to people, because what I really found out, real talk, people don't know what they're talking about, and everybody's always trying to speculate. Everybody's always trying to predict and project and all this kind of stuff. People don't know nothing. You can't even predict your own bowel movements, and you worry about what AI gonna do. It's just crazy. I just don't have time for it, folks. Like, y'all got that. That's why y'all have to be. That's why people have to be. You have to be very mindful. And I would preach this all the time. You have to be very mindful about who you listen to, because a lot of people out here just don't know what the heck they're talking about. They don't. We have to be very mindful of who we listen to, because some of y'all are listening to the wrong sources, listen to the wrong people and the wrong things, and that's why your mind's so effed up. I mean, to be honest with you, that's why your mind is so jacked up, because you listen to the wrong people. Everybody wants to put their 2 cents into everything and don't know nothing. Everybody wants to put their own beliefs and their own religion and all this kind of stuff. Everybody wants to put their own ingredients into everything and think it's true and call it the truth. I'm just like, I just don't have time for it, folks. I just don't have time for it. And this is why a lot of people have mental issues, because everybody is just consuming the wrong stuff. If something is causing you to feel a certain way, get rid of it. Stop listening to it. Stop talking to certain people. Stop watching certain things. Stop going certain places. If something is messing with you, you need to get rid of it. Stop subjecting yourself to nonsense, because it's not helping you, and it's not going to make you get up and do what you're supposed to do. Because, folks, I'm going to tell you something right now. We're all just going through a simulation. I think that we take this life a little bit too seriously than it really is. Because honestly, real talk, long after, I guess, this phase is over with, so to speak, I mean, the world's going to still be here. So why are you wasting your time worrying about something that doesn't really matter? Because the world's not going nowhere. And to be honest with you, I don't have time. Because 9 times out of 10, the world's gonna. Well, I shouldn't say it. 100% chance the world's gonna outlive me. Real talk. And I just don't have time, folks. I don't have time to waste. And I don't know what anybody else. I don't know how anybody else feels about the message, but I don't have time to waste, for real. There's work to be done. As they say, you got places to go and people to see. I just don't have time, folks. I mean, I just don't have time to buy into all this nonsense, because that's all it is nonsense. When it's all said and done, it means absolutely nothing. And I would encourage anybody to really just think about how you're spending your time. Like, you know, if you have something that you want to get done, how serious are you about it, for real? Because you can't do two things at once. You know, you got one window over here open, you got one window over here open. Y'all need to close down some windows. Y'all got too many windows open. You got too many windows open. Y'all got YouTube over here. You got the news over here. You just got too many things going on. Y'all need to shut down those windows. You all need to shut down some of these windows, because you got too much stuff going on. And you're not getting anything done. And I feel strongly about this particular message, because I feel like people are just wasting their time. And everybody's just wasting time going off, and it's not doing anything for you. It's just not. Like, it's just, you're just wasting your time and energy. You know, your energy is better used. It's better spent elsewhere. You know, I'm not. I don't care about what's going on. I don't care about all the propaganda and the nonsense and the foolishness. I don't care. I'm just not interested in all that. I just don't care. I mean, it's not worth my time. Um, I mean, it's amazing how much time we waste. It's amazing how much time that we waste, and you gotta get rid of some people too. If you got toxic people, get rid of them. Straight up, I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I know it's not always easy, and sometimes you can't avoid everything. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's easy, because some things you can't avoid. You can't avoid everything. You can't shut down everything. But I would definitely encourage you to do your best to minimize it, if anything else, because it's just not doing anything for you. And a lot of people and a lot of things will waste their time. I'm just trying to motivate somebody, because I think we need to really sit down and do a self evaluation and really think about what we're doing with our time, because I think a lot of us are just wasting it. And I feel like a lot of people are not really maximizing their potential, because they're just wasting their time on nonsense. And I just don't have time for all this. I don't have time for the noise. I don't have time for the drama and all this other BS. I don't have time for it, folks. I just, I'm a working person. I'm trying to grind and get things done and learn things. I don't have time to be getting wrapped up in nonsense. There's just no time in my schedule for it. I mean, if you have time to do that, I would have to ask you what I would have to ask you what are you really doing, because if you have time to do that, then you have time to do something else too. So it's like you have to prioritize. That's all I can say. People say stuff like I don't have time. If you got time to tap into nonsense, you got time to tap into yourself. That's what I say. Don't tell me that you don't have time to do something, but you can tell me about every news story. That's what kills me about people. I'm probably gonna lose people from behind saying this, but don't tell me that you don't have time to do something, but yet you know about every headline, you know about every little thing that's going on. You can tell me about every bad stuff. You can tell me about every headline, every news story that come out, but you don't have time to get your other stuff done. You made time for that. If you got time to sit in front of the TV and watch CNN, and if you got time to watch Fox, and if you got time to watch all these networks, if you got time to do that, you got time to do your own thing too. You got to put your energy somewhere else. It's all about priorities. If you got time to stay updated on everything that pops off all the time, if you got time for all that, then you got time to do something else. It's all about putting your time in the right places. Don't tell me you don't have time to do something, and every time I turn around, I got the TV on. Don't tell me you don't have time to do something, but you can tell me about every story that comes out. You can tell me about every little thing that's going on in Hollywood. You can tell me about everything that's going on and whatever. Excuse me. Don't tell me you don't have time to go after your purpose, but you got time to sit there. You got time to sit there and read every headline. You can tell me about that all day long, but you can't tell me about nothing you're doing. So it's all about priorities. You know, I think there's no such thing as you don't have time. You just have to allocate your time differently. There's no such thing as you don't have time. If you got time to fool around with all kinds of nonsense, you got time to do that. You got time to do something else. It's really that simple. It's all about priorities. So don't tell me you don't have time. So I think we need to take a step back and go through our closet and do an inventory check and make sure that we don't have no old stuff that we need to get rid of, because some of y'all haven't cleaned out your closet in a long time. Some of y'all haven't cleaned out your pantry in a long time. You got old stuff in there that should have been thrown out 5, 6 years ago. You got you got people who you should have cut off a long time ago. You got old habits you probably should have gotten rid of. You got certain things you should have gotten rid of a long time ago. Some of y'all need to go through your pantry and do an inventory check, because if you clean out that garbage that's in your pantry, you'll have some space to put something new in there. I know I'm talking. I know I'm preaching, because because I really feel strongly about motivating people, because people always say stuff like, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that. Yeah, but because you got so much old stuff in the pantry. If you throw some of that old stuff out, you'll have room to put something else in there. If you cut off the news, cut off the BS, you'll have time to put that time for something else. You want to know why you're always stressed out. You want to know why you're always full of anxiety, because you're putting your energy in the wrong places. If you take all the BS out, you'll be able to put something else in there. So it's not that you don't have any room. You just got to clean out your pantry. And some of y'all haven't cleaned out your pantry in 5 years. Now you got old stuff from 2015 sitting in your pantry right now. You got old food from y'all got old kidney beans. Y'all got old kidney beans from 2017. I don't mean literally, but my whole point about that is that y'all should have thrown out some things a long time ago. So the reason why you don't have room for other things, because you got too much garbage in there. You got too many toxic people in your life. You got too many things that you're consuming that's not good for you, and you want to know why you can't sleep halfway. You want to know why you can't halfway concentrate, and you listen to all the wrong people. I'm not gonna get too specific in certain things, but That's why I don't believe in following everything. Because all that stuff just messes with you. That's all it does. I don't even follow certain things. There are certain things I don't subscribe to certain things anymore. I just don't because it doesn't do anything for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, but I just want to leave y'all with this. Um, and like I said, you can take it from somebody who's made several feature films already. So I can tell you straight up, if you want to get something done, it's possible, but you have to prioritize and you have to really be serious about where you're putting your energy because we got too many distractions and everybody wants you to look over here, look over there when you should be looking ahead of you. And I think a lot of times you have to look at it almost like it's kind of like driving. If y'all drove the way that you conduct the rest of your life, you be having accidents every day. When you're driving, what do most of the time? You look ahead. You're not looking around. You're not looking at the floor. You're not looking, yeah, you may look to the side to see if anyone's coming, but for the most part, when you're driving, where are you looking mostly? In front of you. And honestly, the way a lot of people conduct their lives, if y'all drove the same way you conduct the rest of your life, you'd be having accidents every day. Because a lot of people are not looking ahead. They're too busy being distracted. They're too busy looking at what the cop is doing over here, what someone else is doing over there. They keep looking at the person in the red dress over, and a lot of people are not paying attention to what's in front of them. They're not keeping their eyes on the road. And we allow ourselves to distract us, and that's why you keep running into stuff. That's why you keep that's how people have accidents because they're not paying attention to where they're going. And the reason why a lot of people are having accidents in the rest of their life is because they're not paying attention to where they're going. They got too many distractions going on. You got the TV run all the time. You got all the bad news going on all the time. You got all the crazy stuff, foolishness going on all the time. You want to know why you can't concentrate. You want to know why you can't focus. You want to know why your head's clogged up with all kinds of stuff because you got your mind on the wrong stuff. And the thing about it is that people don't understand. Like the mind is very impressionable. Even when you're not even watching something, you're still thinking about what you just saw. And some people, y'all, if you know how you are, then you need to stop doing it because, like, you just can't do everything. And a lot of people, they're just not keeping their eyes on the road. That's the problem. We're too busy looking around and looking at what somebody else is doing and what somebody else is talking about, and you're not really paying attention to where you're going. That's how you end up running into people. That's how you end up running into things because you're not paying attention to what's in front of you. Because we think everything else is so important. It's not. Like it's just, you need to be paying attention to where you're going. We gotta keep our eyes on the road, and I just think that a lot of stuff that we distract ourselves with is really not important. It's really not. Like it's nonsense. So we need to learn how to stay focused, and that's all I got to say for this message. And if you like the message, you give it a thumbs up, and I'm gonna get off here and do some other work here. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. And peace out.